Oh, hi, you caught me. Well, welcome back to SNG Experience, or the SNG Experience, which has been experiencing working on the movie Martians Attack SNG rather successfully for the last 4 weeks, because we have to bring this movie to a close. It's been a year. A year for a 25-minute film is a long time to spend on a movie. We had a lot of setbacks with talent that was going to be in, then not be in, then be in, and lots of other issues. But it is going to be finished this week, and in fact, we're doing our opening here because Tom Piedmont, better known as Model Man Tom to many of you, is in the edit bay right now doing a very elaborate effect shot that he has done for us out of the goodness of his heart. Besides shooting the movie and other things he's done, Tom has been a huge help to us and a big-time contributor to our film. So that is going to be done this week, the film. In fact, it's all done, edited, and we're just doing some cleanup, and the final score is going in on Monday or Tuesday, and or maybe a little later, but it will definitely be finished next week. I'm going to cut a trailer. You'll get to see the exciting trailer very soon. As you can see, I'm back to work on models because now that I'm done editing on Martians Attacks, I have time to get back, finish Battlestar here. We're going to get back to work also on the Enterprise, the Captain Kirk doll, and very soon we will be starting a laser blast gun. Now, many of you may have seen Laser Blast but not realized I made the props for it, did the makeup for it, and in fact played the alien in the beginning. Mary had the great idea of making a show about recreating the prop, the famous gun that I made. Famous to some of you anyway. So we're going to do that, which is going to be a lot of fun. So that's something that's coming up. And of course I've been working very hard on the new script. Some of you have heard the name Reach. That was a temporary title. We will tell you what the actual title is very shortly as the script is finished and give you some news about who's involved in it and that kind of stuff. But this is a totally different kind of movie than Martians Attacks SNG. It is a real movie. In fact, it's a pilot for a series, like a TV series. More about that. So let's get to work and show you what we're doing this week.
Hey, well, welcome back. We've been a little busy working on the movie, as you all know, and it's getting closer and closer all the time to being finished. Thank you, Gary Hughes, for shooting and doing that wonderful work that you did. You just sent us the files. We're going to go take a look at that, which means I can cut that footage in. That's all of the live action. I've got almost 90% of all the effect shots done. I've been working on Marty, CGI puppet, a whole bunch, because we have to use it a lot, because as Doug always points out, the practical model can't run. So, and it's walking and doing things like that. So we're doing a mix of practical and that. We will get back to Captain Kirk right there fairly soon, but we've been busy on some other stuff, like helping out Adam on his For the Love of Spock campaign. We've got some stuff coming up about that, but that's going to be a little bit further down the road, but we've been putting some time in on there too. And another thing that I'm doing too is I'm recreating Leonard Nimoy's Spock Ears molds from the actual molds from the Masters, which is what I'm starting on today. What I'm doing here, and I've showed you these before, these are the original Masters, which are sort of a polyurethane or toughy material we used back in 1978 to pour into the real molds, the plaster molds, which are actually a Toolstone UltraCal 30. So the two pieces of the mold were put together, and this was poured in and pulled out so that we could then make additional molds to run foam rubber, because the molds would crack and get worn out after running them repeatedly in foam rubber, which is what we used in those days. Now I'm going to recreate the process, basically what we did back then, and create a new set of ear molds. Now unfortunately I don't have the positives, and I'm hoping that Adam might be able to help out on that, because we have the positives, any positive from that period of time. I should be able to back engineer them into the molds. If not, I have another thing I'm going to try. But the first thing I'm going to do is lay up clay on these for the front half of the mold. Now, if you look right now, you're seeing a picture of the molds, the original molds in my ovens. Those are what I want to bring back. And there's 3 pieces because we didn't use silicone back in those days. So here we go. I'm going to use some water-based clay. I'm not sure that's what we used in those days, but probably because it's easy to dig out. This clay is pretty dried up, but it will work. Now, what I'm going to do is start with the first one, and this clay you see going in here replicates or produces the cavity that will later be filled for the back piece of the mold. So we're going to go back in here and fill this all in. What I'm doing now is I'm putting in some keys, and boy, is that clay sticking. There we go. We're going to need some little keys in here. I don't have my regular key making tool here, but this should be fine because this part lifts up. So that, because you want to be able to key this in, would help too to have some water coming through this, and to the top part of the mold. Here's another one, and we'll do a couple over here. And as soon as I do that, we are ready to go ahead and cast this up. And I'm going to do the other side first. I need to smooth those out a bit too. And that gives us some keys. So here I got both of them laid up, and I'm going to let it dry out a little bit here and wrap some plastic around. In fact, I think I could probably do that now. And that way they're ready to go. I'm going to spray a little mold release in there. I really don't need it, but just to be safe, spray a little something in there and cast up the first side. So now we're putting on the walling, and back in those days, and we probably still can do it, there was this stuff I think called dental, no, it wasn't dental dam, but it was a rubbery material we'd wrap around the molds. I don't have any of that, but this is working out really well. I'm going to pour stone in there, and all I do is just take, this is why you never throw out your styrene, at least not if you are in my line of work, you don't do it. I'm seeing a bit of an undercut here I want to get rid of, so I'm going to kind of cut this off here, and it gives me a pretty sharp edge there on the stone to the actual edge. So that was always a problem doing the molds this way, is that you couldn't get a real good thickness right there, and they'd often break after a while. But We should be okay. Let me fix that a little bit like that, and then we're going to, yeah, that's got better thickness and there's no draft coming around the edge. You want to make sure you don't have any negative draft because you got to get it off the ear this way. So as I was saying, you never throw out your styrene. Elliot Brown certainly never does, so he sends it to me because he knows I will use it in exactly the way I'm using it right now, among many other things. So I put a little bit of painter's tape on it like so, wrap it around like so, tighten it up. I've got a little bit too much here. And there we go. So now we got that one ready to go. And I'm going to pour up some stone. And we'll have the first part of our molds. Okay, we got our Ultracal 30. And it's a nice consistency. Not too thick, not too thin, because you don't want bubbles. And I'm just going to my main thing is I want to get the ears. So I've put some Zip mold release in there, which is basically a spray Vaseline, just to help it, break surface tension a bit more, and we make sure we really don't have any bubbles in there, because bubbles are not something we want. Okay, you can see how the material is just beating up on this, which is what we want. And make sure this is thoroughly covered. And then we'll pour the remaining amount in. Let it harden. Pull the plastic off. And once we pull the plastic off, we can dig out the clay from the back side, which comes out pretty easy because it's just water-based clay, and if some of it gets stuck in there, you can hose it out with a spritz bottle. And then a little bit of Vaseline in there for sure, because you're stone against stone, and stone likes to stick to itself. I'm going to pour the rest in here now. That's about right. I didn't waste the Ultracal this time. I really don't like wasting this stuff. You didn't care in the past because it was so cheap. That is not the case today. It has really gone up in price. A lot of these materials have. So you can do a little more in this one. A wee bit. A little bit too much in that one. Oh, it's going to level them out because they are really about the same size and height. And this is so messy. And they're about the same now. You can feel how far away the ear is. This one's still a little higher. So we will scoop out some and put it over here and make them equal. That's better. That's perfect. Okay, so we got that. Okay, and now I'm just going to take a rubber mallet, just kind of the tapping kind of helps it settle in. We got a little leakage there, not too bad. And that should give us some nice mold tops. And that's how we do that part of it. And we'll let this harden up, and when we come back, we'll take the plastic off, like I said, and dig out the clay on the back side, and which is really tricky the first time you do it, because if you have any clay stick, you have clay sculpture back there, and it could be tricky, but this is not going to be a problem because we're on the actual masters. Okay, so here we go. Stuff's all hard now, as you can see. Yeah, it is. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this off. Like that. We got these nice little molds. Just thought to dig the clay out from back here. We got a little bit of leakage there, not much. I'm going to open this one up. Painter tape is not supposed to be that strong, but I guess when you wrap it around as many times as I did, it's pretty strong. There you go. There we go. So that gives us both of these, and they look just like what was in my ovens, or the ovens. Fred used to let me take the molds home on the weekend before everybody else came on board and run foam. So that's how, the only reason I got that picture, because Paramount wasn't really keen on us taking pictures in those days. Of course, it was the first Star Trek movie, or the first Star Trek anything in a long time. So they were being very protective. No pictures. But now, dig this clay out. And you can see it kind of doesn't really want to come out. But it does peel away very well once you dig out enough of it. Okay, like that. And now it'll start to just peel away from the surface very well. Now this is where it got real scary when you were doing, when the clay was right there. We don't have that issue here. You see it just coming right out of there, just no problem, just easy as can be, and you can see the back of the ear there. Try not to cut yourself like I just did. Soon you will see blood. Get this out. This is somewhat flexible, which is helpful. Come on, out you come. There you go. You can see the keys in there. Come on. One little chunk left here to go. There we go. Now I'll just go in there with a brush, some water, and get that out. And then I'm gonna Vaseline that all up and pour stone in there, smooth it off on the outside, and that'll give us our 3-piece mold. Okay, I am going to pour up this part of the mold. I printed this out because these are the original molds in my ovens at home, and you can see the 3rd piece in there. And of course, this is the back plate that would have his ears on it. And I pretty much marked them the same. Same date, everything. I mean, it's just kind of amazing to see these sitting before me. But to really make it right, we're going to do this part here. And then I do not have Leonard's positives, unfortunately. But what I am going to do is sort of clay press from the inside the shape of an ear for now, and pour the backplate positive, so we'll have the entire mold set up as you see it here. I'm hoping that maybe Adam Nimoy has a casting, or can locate a casting of his dad's ears, so that I can actually back engineer those into this piece here. So that's the plan. So what we're going to do now is mix up some more Ultra Cal, and we're going to put it inside there. I've already put some zip in there, zip adhesive. Adhesive, yeah, that'll really help. It's a pattern release. Basically, it's thinned down Vaseline. And just to be real sure, I put some more Vaseline inside there as well. So let's pour the stuff. Okay, here we go. We got our Ultra Cal, and I'm going to take a little bit of water and just sort of, I loosened it. Damn. Easy to do if you're not being careful. I'm going to spritz some water down inside there. It just helps break the surface tension so we don't get bubbles. All right, a little water, a little Ultracal, and now we're going to get in there and brush the stuff up in there, making sure that we got it a good splash coat in there. I can't remember what we did exactly to fill this up, but I'm just going to kind of put it in there like so, and then I'll wipe it off like so. I think I'll take a little bit of tape or something and put it on there. That would really help. I'm really careful not to knock it loose again. But it's really important to get that brush coat in there first for the surface, which is what this is all about. So now I'm going to clean that off, and I'm going to take a little bit of tape, and I will need to have these gloves off to do that. Forgot about this little step, and what I did is just take some aluminum tape, which is pretty strong stuff, and even with the Vaseline on it, it's still sticking well enough to allow me to fill that in like so. Tap it and keep doing that until it's all the way filled up. We should have our back part of our mold. A little more. And there we go. Now that's filled in pretty well. I'm just going to kind of store this way, and hopefully we're not losing too much out the side. Need something to keep it from rolling. That ought to do it. We're losing some somewhere. Yeah, we are losing it bit by bit. But until that gels, it'll really help. So here we go. I've poured up and just used the tape. And it's holding it pretty well, and well, you know, it's going to gel here in a second, and then you can see it's already gelled pretty well. It goes off fast. What I want to do here is kind of tidy this up a little bit, like so, like so. And that's pretty good. That's that behind piece now that we have. As soon as this gels up a little bit better, I can smooth it out, make it really nice. It's right on the edge of starting to go off. We'll come back here in a second and smooth this down a little more as soon as it gels a bit. But that's basically how we do that. So here we go. We're all done. Of course, for making, except for, you know, whatever I decide to do, it'll be interesting to make the back plate with the ears in it. I've got some ideas about what I can do if I can't get hold of castings of his ears, but this is a pretty good replica of the originals. Of course, they are from the same master. These were the actual very first pair of ears that these rubber black masters were pulled from. But it's really amazing to see them back here. Tomorrow we'll open these up so you can see, you know, what gives with that, and then we're going to try to figure out some way to back engineer an ear. I'm having the thought that if I sculpt an ear, you know, based on pictures of his ears that I have, that I'll be able to sculpt his ears, and then out of very hard Chavant clay, and then kind of force them in there, pull them out, see how much they rub and stuff, and get them so they fit right in there the way they're supposed to, and then sculpt a backplate on them, which I'll probably also do in the first place, and then make a mold off that and algin it and cast one up out of stone, and it should fit into these, is what I'm hoping. So that's if I can't actually find a casting of his ears, but even if I did, I would still probably pull a silicone or an algin it and pour some up out of wax clay or Chavant and get them to fit in there and get them pretty close so that I could actually cast it. I don't know how good the blender edges will be. They probably won't be that great, but at least I can get a real ear out, tip out, and make these molds completely complete. Well, we are back, and it is the following week after the footage you just saw. If my edit is in the correct timeline, we have been working feverishly on Martians Attacks, and I almost have the movie done, and here it is, Monday the 29th, and really it's almost done. We had a couple things that got to go in from Tom Piedmont, and we got the score. I'm going to do the end credits probably tomorrow. It's just about there, and that means that the trailer will be cut pretty soon. You guys can see that. Going back to the ear molds, which are to represent the original ear molds I did for Leonard back in 8/3/78. Here are the molds. I opened them and took them off and you feel how good they fit together. There's the back side, and a few crumbs in there and stuff to be cleaned out. You can see how nice those came out. We got a nice edge all the way around here, not too sharp so it doesn't break. A couple little bubbles which can be patched very easily, but you know, this is really solid and goes together really good. Now all we have to do is make some kind of positive for them that fits in there. Ironically, my ears seem to sit in there really well, so I may end up using those, but I'm still going to talk to Adam and find out if he doesn't have a copy of his father's ears from roughly this period or slightly later on that we can use. But you can just see there the seam line, and if you watch the old TV show, and especially the Blu-rays of it, if you look in freeze frame, you can actually see those seam lines. So you want to talk canon? That's canon. Of course, the next step will be to clean up these molds a little bit, make the positive, and you'll see that happen next. And back in here, this is where I've been for 2 weeks, actually 3 weeks. And, well, Bill Hughes and Gary Hughes and a lot of you out there who do this kind of work know just how hard it is. Yes, I'm sitting on my butt day after day. I'm not making buildings and I'm not digging ditches or shoveling dirt. But you know what? All things being equal, this is pretty hard work to do. I don't deny it's fun, but it is tedious. Right now my neck muscles are all stiff and I've had it. This is the end of the day. And I could only get so far today and tomorrow, though it really will start to shape up. I've got, here we have the ships, when they go by, they head towards Earth. Of course, there they start to get hot as they come into the Earth's atmosphere.
Steve.
Yeah. And that's that whole sequence is done. In fact, just about everything is done in this entire timeline except for the end credits and Tom's work, which I'm not going to show you because it gives away the end of the movie, but I'll reduce the size of this somewhat here, and you can see how complicated this little edit is. Of course, the end titles are down here. Oh, here we have a little bit of some mass destruction. I'll show you that. Very quick shot I did showing everything being blown up. See the robot down there stomping along. So quite the end of the world is happening there. But that is what we've been doing and doing some more. So yes, we will be getting back to the Enterprise and to Battlestar and to a lot of other models and stuff as soon as it's done. I've also at the same time been writing the script for our new movie, which it is technically copyrighted now, but I'm still going to protect it further before I actually tell you the name of it and what the story's all about and who is going to be in it. And of course, you know Andy Probert's working on it, but there's some other people that I think you're going to like. Also, I wanted to thank you all, incredibly so, for supporting Adam Nimoy's project. He is right at this moment a matter of about $20,000 away from making his 600,000 goal, so it's absolutely obvious he's going to make it. He still has 2 days. I contributed... Boy, my hair's coming out. I contributed some of the ears in the shadow boxes that Adam and I will be signing on camera, and it's a video that will be something that you can have to treasure because it's for you. So, you know, those of you who did that, thank you very much. I don't know if you watched the show or not, but 5 of you bought the 5 perks available for that, and that brought in another $5,000 towards the campaign, which is greatly appreciated. The one that hasn't been picked up yet is the one where you get to come to SNG Studios and have your ears cast, your custom sculptures done on your ear castings, your own very own prosthetic Vulcan ears made in the molds as well, and then you get to be made up as a Vulcan. And Adam will either include this on special features or actually include it in the documentary, which will document the entire process of this being done in your entire experience. So that one hasn't gone yet, but by the time you see this video on Thursday, your chance to do that will be gone. So hopefully one of you are going to do that. I also want to thank Ken Palco, who called me up and said, Steve, what can I do to help here? And he donated 2 perks, which are Star Trek Into Darkness phasers, fully functional, a big, huge deal. Thank you, Ken. That really helped. Last I looked, there was 1 of them left. 1 of them already had been back. So thank you so much. Anyway, we'll get back to more of what we're doing here at SNG tomorrow. Well, now that Martians Attacks is almost finished, in fact, as we speak, Tom Piedmont, Model Man Tom, he's in here, and he's working on the last shot, the last effect shot, which is a real critical one. We'll sneak in here, and you can see that he's working in the edit bay. Hey, say hello, Tom.
Hey guys, how's it going?
What are you working on, Tom?
Oh, all sorts of things.
Okay, we'll come back and look later. Rosie's keeping him company. And so I'm sitting here and I'm looking at this, which needs to be finished. I'm looking at this, which needs to be finished. And I'm looking at this, which needs to be finished. And I know what you're all saying right now. Do this one, do this one, do this one. This one's going to take the longest to finish. This is going to take not as long, and this not as long at all. So my thinking was, so magically the top came off, but that's because my memory card ran out. But I know what you're all saying, that you'd like me to do the Enterprise, but I really think I should do this. There's not that much left to do on it. We'll get it off the table, and before I do it, the first thing I'm going to do, as I started to talk about before I was so rudely cut off by this memory card, is to cover this up, for God's sakes. We're going to drill some holes in here and put some fiber optics in so we can finish off the windows in here, and we're going to cover this up permanently, paint these gray, paint them the correct sort of base color, and glue them on, and then place this whole top on here. And I do believe there are a couple of lights that stick out in the front I have to look into. We're going to get pretty Canon on this, but there's always sort of a point where you say, really? So that's what I'm going to do. Plus this still needs to be glued on. This is just hanging on there with this. I forget, because when I stopped, I forgot where I was at with this model. 4 or 5 weeks ago. So let's drill some holes in this. Let's put some LEDs in, get that done, get this sealed up, get that on, and start getting this model done, and then start blocking light leaks. Lots of fiber optics, but of course it gives us our nice little windows on the side. I have to now look and see if we need, I think some in the, there's none in the front that I'm aware of, but I think there's some sticking out of this, which is what I gotta look into before I permanently put this down. But what I'm gonna do for now is do this, because I don't need to get in there again. And that will get rid of some light leaks and seal that off rather well. That's pretty. Very nice. Well, I've been working on this model just about all day while Tom's been working on the movie, and we are about 90%, maybe 95%. No, you know what? I'd go as far as saying we're 98%, because all we need are the pieces of missing score put in, and everything's in the film, and the film is done. So I'm very happy about that. Thanks to you, Tom. So what I've been doing, it may not look like much, but I've been getting these front lights in here, which it has up in the very, very front. I know it's not focusing. We've got all the rest of these in on both sides. I've taken all the armor off. This nacelle was not on level. I had to break it off and reload it, but it's fitting right now, so I've got to do a little touch-up and paint there, and a little bit of putty. Over on this side, we've got the lights on this side all working, and you can see the little probe lights. I have to put the part around them if I can find them, or I'll build one out of epoxy sculpt, because drilling through those would be probably pretty problematic to get a drill through a little tiny part like that. So I'm just going to build material around the actual probe and sculpt it right on the spot out of epoxy sculpt. So let me show you this with the lights off, and now you can see those lights better. I know this one's supposed to be red down here, but it's just so nice that we have them on there. I've got some light blocking to do yet on the front, and I've been doing light blocking all along the cracks. This is on permanently now. We got a nice glow down there. I've got light leaks there, which I'll be addressing tomorrow, but we're really starting to look good. I still have not glued this down. You can see how good that part fits together. That's typical of badass models. Their stuff really rolls together quite good. Best garage kits ever. But that just fits really good. So that's got to be glued tomorrow, and then these put in pretty much permanently, and we're going to start putting on the armor. But I'm very happy with it. It's so cool. I have just got to thank my dear friend Gary Hughes at Rocket Patrol for this, which just arrived in the mail. And the lighting in here just does not do it justice. The paint job, the workmanship he put into this model, if you don't recognize it, it's from Laser Blast. And that is, Mary wants it to stay at the house, which is why I'm shooting it here now. This is just a fantastic job. I am so blown away, Gary. Thank you so much. I mean, that is just beautiful. I am just, I'm speechless. Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Rocket Patrol. So, wow, the sun came out. It's been cloudy and raining here, which is why I first shot it in the side, but now you can see this, how beautiful this is. How he did the eyes. Gary's one fine craftsman, one fine artist, and a darn good friend. And we just love this. I had a Bilkin and never put it together or painted it. I always meant to. This is something I should have, considering this is the alien that killed me in Laser Blast. Oh, I even like the little touch of the wet inside the breathing. Just what a fine addition to our show, huh, Mary?
Yeah.
This is just incredible, and just there's even, I mean, it's just so well done. I'm so thankful. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. I enjoyed killing him all those years ago.
What a great week. Got so much done. Of course, as you know by now, the movie is almost entirely done, and by the time we do another show next week, it certainly will be. I'll be cutting a trailer soon. You'll be seeing that next week, which is going to be a lot of fun. I want to thank everybody who supported Martians Attack SNG very, very much. We couldn't have done it without you. Also want to thank you for supporting For the Love of Spock, which you know I'm involved in. I'm very glad to see that Adam made his goal. It's going to be a great project, For the Love of Spock, a documentary about Leonard Nimoy and this character, Mr. Spock. Now, keep in mind that originally, while Leonard was still with us, he and his son, this was a dream of theirs to make this project and do this documentary. And of course, Leonard passed away, and Adam is continuing on with it. It was going to cost him a great deal of money to get the rights to use the images from Star Trek from his dad as Mr. Spock and all the scenes behind the scenes and everything else. So it was really important to raise that money to pay for the rights to do this show, and you made it happen. So congratulate yourself for that as well. We will be back next week for more fun and more model making, and hopefully maybe I'll be able to start talking to you about the new project. We love you a whole bunch here at SNG. Thanks for making us possible, and we'll see you next week.